Recently, I've made a few videos about the economic impact payment card, and some of those were just following my experience through it, and some of them were responding to questions that people made in comments. I received an email a few minutes ago from a person who has watched some of those videos, and he asks a question. I thought, wow, that's a good topic for a video. So here I am making a video in response to his question. Now, he did not leave a comment on the video. He sent me an email, which I invite people to do, but because he sent me an email, I'm going to assume that he was not intending for his name to be revealed on YouTube, so I'm blurring that out. But I'm going to show you the email that he sent and then talk about the subject that he brings up, because I think it's a really good subject. So he says, Doug, thanks for the concise and clear walkthrough on economic impact card and letter. As a senior, I'm very cautious about fraud and the so-called free lunch stuff info in the mail. I simply went to YouTube with a question and your teaching came up. I'm sure I could use your help in the future. I'm curious, are you retired? Why and how can you have this resource available? Thanks again. So I think that is a great question to ask, and let me respond to it. Now, there's actually a couple questions in that, and a point that he makes. The point that he makes is about being cautious about free lunch stuff in the mail and email and internet. I'll expand his words a little bit to include that. There's a lot of free stuff that's made available to us. Well, that's not really a new thing. It kind of feels new because we get bombarded by it so much on the internet. Free this, free that. But for those of us of my age and older, television over the airwaves was free. Right? You bought a television set, it had antennas on it. You did not pay for television service. The stations just came over the air. Well, we all knew and understood it was paid by advertising. Well, for the large part, that's still the case. You can go to a website, you can download a free antivirus software, you can get a free identity check, you can get free credit monitoring, you can get all kinds of free stuff on the internet. You can go to some websites and type in about a problem that you're having with your computer and you can get free help for it. Is this stuff all really free? And no, it's not. We have a saying that's kind of popular within the internet technician community, and it ought to be popular beyond that or well known beyond that, is that if the product is free, then you are the product. And that's the way it was with television back before the internet existed, and radio for that matter, right? You buy a radio and you got free music, free content, but there was advertising, and we all understood that the advertisers were paying for it. Newspapers, well, they weren't free. We had to pay a subscription, but that just paid for a part of the cost of producing the newspapers. There were advertisers that were also paying the cost. So on YouTube, there is so much content on YouTube, and that comes free, or seemingly free. Not really. You are the product. And what happens is if you don't pay for a YouTube Premium account, then you're going to see a lot of advertising. You're going to see advertising at the beginning of many of the videos that you see. Sometimes they'll be cut into the middle of the video, or within the process of the video, there'll be advertisements at the end. You'll see advertisements that come along, and you are the product. The content creators, it's their job to attract your interest, to get you to want to watch their videos. And that way, advertisers have the opportunity to advertise to those people watching the videos. Those advertisers pay money to YouTube, and YouTube pays money to some of the content creators. The content creators have to meet certain thresholds before they qualify to get paid for the content that they produce. Now, some of those YouTube content creators are not getting paid for their content, and they do it just because they enjoy doing it. Some of them are getting paid tens, twenties of dollars a month, hundreds of dollars a month, thousands of dollars a month, and tens of thousands of dollars a month and higher. There are people that get pretty wealthy by producing YouTube content. It's hard to get to there. I mean, there's people that make a lot of money playing football, but that's a small percentage of the people who play football or sing. So that's how the world in the internet works, is free stuff being produced because advertisers are paying for it. But that's not all that happens, and that's not all you need to be looking out for. And this person has another point that they're making. Let's bring that back up and point that out, where he says he's very cautious about fraud and so-called free lunch stuff. Well, that brings up another aspect of the free stuff. Some of the free stuff is actually scams. People trying to rip you off, not just get your eyeballs for watching advertisement. You can browse through the internet, click onto a website, and have a message pop up saying that your computer is infected. Call this number immediately for us to help fix it. And some of these messages, it actually comes out over your computer speakers, as well as being a notice on screen. Some of them will threaten FBI or police are being sent to your location. You must call. You call immediately, or they'll say that there's IRS fraud, or they'll send you an email saying that you've overpaid on a certain account that maybe you recognize or maybe you don't, and they want to give you a refund. They have a link for you to click on to claim that refund, and they're actually trying to scam you. They'll typically get you on the phone. They'll want to connect remotely to your computer, and they'll take you through various gyrations and eventually get money out of you. Several different schemes that they use to do this. So there are a lot of fraud and scams that come out at first looking like free stuff. So you got to be careful. He's very right about that. And then let's see, what did he say? Oh, he says that he could use my help in the future. So let's point out what he means by that. In my videos, I am offering free computer support over the internet. So here I'm one of these people offering something for free. Is it really free though? Well, no, because my free support is on the condition that you let me publish that session on YouTube. So ideally, the way we would do it is you send me an email saying you want help with something. I send you an email back. We work out some details, and then perhaps you come into my Zoom session, and then I connect remotely to your computer. You have to do things on your end to authorize it. I can't connect to your computer or your phone without your permission. And I help you through whatever the issue is. In some instances, I'll be live streaming that on YouTube, meaning other technical people will be actually watching the work that I'm doing. And that's kind of a peer review kind of thing where there's people able to watch and be sure I'm doing things right and not operating as a con artist. Or we may be doing it as a session that's not being live streamed and I'm just recording it and I'm going to upload it later. I do lots of things I have lots of capabilities built into my system for blurring out confidential things like you saw in that email there. I blurred out the name of the person who sent that email to me and that person's email address. So I'm very conscientious about protecting private information. When we do this on a live stream, I can go back later and blur something in case I made a mistake before many people get a chance to see it. If I'm recording the session onto my computer, I can blur things before I upload it to YouTube. But it's not really free, is it? You have to consent to me publishing that on YouTube. And I believe, based upon the research that I've done, that this content where people can watch me actually providing real computer support to fix real problems on real computers for real people will be a kind of content that many people will enjoy watching and learn from and become better with their computers themselves. And one of the reasons why I was drawn to doing this is because I am a professional computer consultant. So this person who wrote this email also asked over here if I'm retired. He said, I'm sure I could use your help in the future. I'm curious, are you retired? Why and how can you have this resource available? Well, no, I'm not retired. I still have what I consider to be a full-time computer support business where I have local businesses in my town, Fresno, California, where I support their computer needs. I became my own business in 1992, and that was after several years working for other companies, 2 other companies, earning my living from my computer skills. So I've been earning money off of my computer skills for quite some time. And my computer support business that I do for businesses, I've allowed it to drain down a little bit so that I'm not quite so busy with it, because I really wanted to start this YouTube method of providing computer support. And part of what drew me to it is that I see the work that I do on business computers for my clients and how much they pay per hour for me to do that. And then some of them will have me do work on their home computers, and they're paying an hourly rate that most private citizens who aren't operating a business simply cannot afford. It's just unreasonable to afford. So what do they do? What do they do when they have computer problems? And I've come across some of those people, and they stop using the computer, or they get a friend or neighbor to help them, or they go to maybe Best Buy or some other option they find to try to deal with it, or they just live with it. And it could be a simple problem to fix, but they can't justify spending the amount of money that a professional computer consultant would charge. So I put 2 and 2 together, figured that I could do a YouTube channel and provide free computer support to people. And the pandemic really kind of gave me a boost for being able to do this. I cringe a little bit at saying that because the pandemic has brought so much pain and suffering into the lives of so many people. But for my YouTube channel, it caused Zoom to become a household name. People know what Zoom is and understand that you can connect to other people over the internet and see each other face to face through these webcams. Before the pandemic, if I was trying to offer computer support over the internet using Zoom, most people would say, "What is that?" They'd be camera shy. People aren't nearly as camera shy as they used to be. So this has kind of provided an opening for me to be able to do this. And it's available because once my channel gets to a certain level of viewers, I would qualify for getting paid by YouTube. And there's a variety of ways that the monetization works out. I won't go into all those details here, but I had this is a fun conversation. As of today, February 9th, 2021, almost all of the people that I have done computer support sessions over YouTube have been people that I know personally in my hometown, Fresno, California. And some of those are people that have paid me my hourly rate for support. There really hasn't been anyone yet that has sent me an email based upon stumbling across one of my videos that has done a support session with me. There's two that have kind of hinted that they might do it. In fact, this is one. This is one of the people that I count as the two where this person says, I'm sure I could use your help in the future, and making reference to this resource. So I'm thinking this person might actually have a session with me, and I hope that does occur. And there's one other person that I've had email exchanges with that I think that might happen with. But anyway, I was getting to the story. One of the private individuals, doesn't own a business, who has paid me for computer support in the past. She asked, she was asking for support. Actually, no, at that point, a friend of hers who had paid for computer support for me told her to call me. So this was it's an acquaintance. She's an acquaintance of mine, but I had not done work for her before. So she contacted me asking for help. I'd like you to help me the way that you help so-and-so, her friend. And I told her about the YouTube method of helping, that I could do that for free. And she said, I don't know about being on camera, and talked to her, I think, a day or two later, and she said, I want to pay you. I don't want to do the camera thing, I want to pay you. And I had the impression that she felt that she was taking advantage of me getting it for free. I had to talk her into doing it on YouTube to convince her I believe it will be more valuable for me financially in the long run if I could provide the support free over YouTube, and for her to allow me to publish it. And she is letting me do that. But it's so far it's been like twisting arms to get people to do that. So I have intentionally allowed my fee-based computer consulting business to lighten up a little bit so that I could have room in my days to get this YouTube channel going, and that is actually happening now, or it seems to be. All right, is there anything else to put in there? I guess only other thing that he asked that I didn't answer yet is, are you retired? And the answer is no. And I guess I've already explained that. So I guess that's all I need to say on that. Now, have I covered everything? I think so. I'm looking for any methods to let people know that I'm available to provide free computer support over the internet. And the most ideal way is to do it with Zoom, and I connect remotely to your computers. You don't need to know how to do any of that. If you don't know how to do Zoom, if you don't know how to let me connect remotely to your computer, I will talk you through all of that. And I would like to include the action of talking you through that in the video. Meaning we might start the session with a phone call, and I would start the recording going and talk you through how to connect into my Zoom session and how to let me connect remotely to your computer. It's not hard. So I guess that's about all I have for the response to this email. To the writer of the email, thank you for sending it. And I hope this video answers your questions, and I hope you do reach out to me for an actual support session whenever you have a need. And the way to do that, okay, push this button, is send an email to me, DougBetts at LiveWindowsTraining.com. Give me an idea of what you want help with. And then I'll send you an email back and we'll put it together. And down the road, as my channel gets more mature, I may have other ways to begin that communication. But today, February 9th, 2021, that's the way that I'm working. It's just simple and easy to do. All right, so have a great day. I hope this was useful. Catch you later. Goodbye.